What the hell? Why didn't I get you into the game? Spectate game, please. Nice. So, gonna lower the music and we'll see what's going on. So I'm guessing it's Elise top against Irelia. And both going with Ignite, so no teleports or whatever. So it's gonna be a straight up 1 versus 1 lane. On her team, there's Sejuani as a jungler. Sejuani is really strong now as the rework actually. Still doesn't do too much damage, but she does more damage than she did before. And she's a little bit more of a threat now. On the other side, the purple team has Volibear, who's also incredibly strong. It's gonna be hard to avoid ganks, even though he's playing as Elise. It's gonna be pretty hard to avoid ganks, but we'll see how he handles that. Enable chat in games. Okay, sure. How can I enable chat though? Is that an option in game? Well, as an Elise versus Irelia, he should be trying to poke as much as possible, trying to going for some quick damage now and then. He shouldn't be battling her though. He shouldn't be trading. He shouldn't be trading hits with Irelia like auto hits or whatever. Irelia is incredibly strong if she gets to you and gets to trade auto hits and stuff with you. So he should be trying to auto attack as much as possible, getting that Q harassing, and trying to do that little burst QQ burst with Elise, and he should be doing just fine. Epic flash or Ghost on Volibear. I'd say flash any day, man. So much easier to make plays with flash, and such a good escape ability as well. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fix the layout. No problem, no problem. And it should be good now. Should be good now. Someone else saw secret top tactics GG. You're not gonna be able to see it, guys. Secret tactics are secret. But yeah, we'll see if he can manage to get that poke in on Irelia without trying to all in on her. Basically, if he tries to go all in, trade hits with her, he'll be in a little bit of danger at least. He should be trying to get as much poke as possible in. Probably start with a flash nowadays since they changed the red pot cost, so it's a little bit too expensive now to go for as a first item. So most regular start nowadays is either you go for 5 cloth armor, 5 potions. They don't have a ward though, or you go for the flask, the crystalline flask, a ward and 1 health potion. That's probably the most standard start, and that's probably what he should be going with now, especially against a Volibear. You don't want to leave your lane unwarded. You should teach him? GG. Sure, man. Can also easily start Fairy Charm 2 wards. Yeah, sure. Fairy Charm is good for that mana region. 2 wards will make you able to stay in lane even longer. So, let's see. Oh, I forgot to look at skin wars. It's 2 for this team and zero skins for this team, so this is gonna be an easy win for the blue team, obviously. 2 skins against 0, it's CSGG already. So, seems like she's going for 1 pink ward, a side forward, 5 potions and 2 mana potions. It's a pretty decent start, I guess. Our vision were to open up ganks for Sejuani and the other ward for just some extra vision. If you click the eye in the bottom left corner, you enable the chat in spectate mode. The eye. Chat. Okay. So now chat is up.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So, as of now, with that starting build, he'll have a lot of sustain, and he'll also be able to poke a lot with those mana potions he has bought. Getting a little bit more mana back from that, and also getting that little bit of health regen from his health potions. So, a pretty decent start. Not sure. There are a lot of different starts right now on top lane, especially. Also on mid lane, people don't really know what's the best starting items yet, and I think people are still trying to figure out what's the most efficient buy and yeah, what's the most efficient buy in what situation and stuff. Can you also enable team chat in more options? I don't know, let's see. Oh, where the hell is more option? So yeah, Sejuani is starting blue buff. Elise is gonna be missing a few minions. She actually only missed 1 minion now since the minions were cleaving. So that's a decent start. Aurelia is gonna be slightly ahead right now though, so she'll have to watch out for that. It's not quite as dangerous right now getting behind in top lane though, since you don't really start with that elixir anymore, and you don't really have to worry about that all-in with red pot strategy anymore. It's still gonna be a little bit dangerous if she manages to level 2 before. They pretty much hit 2 at the same time anyways. Oh, this is really dangerous. Like, at this level, Elise is pretty weak against Aurelia. When she gets some more damage with her poke, he's gonna be able to do a lot more. Oh. Oh, the place. No, shit, that was close. He didn't use his ward though. Like, you have to try to predict like the enemy jungler is most likely gonna be starting on blue buff. On Volibear or on any champion without like except for like Elise or those who don't really use their mana or whatever, they're probably gonna be starting on blue buff. So you'll have to predict at like what time they're most likely to be top lane. Like if they start blue buff on red side, they're most likely gonna try to gank either top lane or mid lane at around 3 minutes. So at that time, you should either be having your ward placed out, or you should be playing really passively, because then at that point of time, the chances are pretty big that you're gonna get ganked if you're playing top or mid lane. And the same applies to the blue side, obviously. This game, Sejuani started blue though, so she's not gonna be top lane that early. Should have moved while auto attacking. Yeah, maybe. I don't think it would have made too much of a difference though. So the farm is 16 to 21. She's a little bit behind in farm, and she didn't buy any additional items to what she had before. She's sitting at 700 gold right now, so she probably could have bought something else at least. Maybe a fairy charm or something for some extra mana regen to be able to poke more. She placed her pink ward in Tribush. which is a wise choice against when you're on blue side. You don't want, actually, yeah, that will deny Aurelia vision from ganks coming over here. So if she overextends the slightest bit here, and the chances are big she's gonna be able to get ganked. But he'll have to be really careful here, because he knows Volibear is in there now. Yeah, nice check. So there's such a huge minion wave, he's not gonna be able to gank here. Or most likely not anyways. Yeah, that's something a lot of people tend to not care about, especially as junglers. There's not really a big chance in getting anything done in a gank if you decide to gank when there's such a huge creep wave for the enemy team. Like for the first part, the creeps are gonna do a lot of damage if you decide to fight close to them, and also you're gonna lose so much experience and gold from those creeps if they just die to tower while you're trying to kill someone, and you might even end up losing gold getting a kill if you lose so many minions from it. And that's a free kill. So yeah, basically that pink ward doing work and not allowing really any vision. So yeah, right now she got a kill. She's up in gold on Aurelia, most likely. Even though Aurelia got 39 minions and he has 29, he's still up with 100 gold, and he's sitting on 1.4k gold at the moment. And he'll be looking to head back right here, trying to pick up some sustain items probably. So let's see what he decides to buy. So he's going for the haunting guys, giving him a little bit more of sustain, giving him the magic pen and extra 200 HP. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure on what items are optimal items against Aurelia, since I'm not regularly playing top lane, I guess. So if anyone is playing a lot of top lane, feel free to add in on this as well. Well, if you blow flash, you should expect to get camped. Yeah, that's true as well. If the jungler sees you blowing flash, or if the laner sees you as well and tells the jungler, you're probably going to get camped. So you should really expect that. So right now he's sitting on a ward. He hasn't placed it yet, so he should be really afraid right now. He made it out just fine there, but he should really be placing down his ward soon. You don't want to be sitting on a ward when you don't know where the enemy jungler is, and you might as well just put it out there, get the vision, and avoid the ganks. Like, the ward isn't doing you any good if it's just in your bag. Just try to place it out as fast as you come to lane, unless you see the jungler somewhere else on the map, of course. You don't want to waste the time of vision you get from the wards, but you don't want to sit on them for too long either. So right now he hasn't seen Volibear for quite some time, and she should probably be a little bit afraid of Volibear ganks as soon as Aurelia comes back to lane. So she's shoving the lane. Aurelia is not here, so not much else she can do. Now she should be really afraid though. She's gonna spot Volibear mid, so she knows he's not coming right now. However, when she's pushed this much to the enemy turret, she should really place down her ward. Also, it's quite important for Nidalee mid lane now to try to ward, try to keep both sides of the river warded as well, to avoid TF ganks. Because TF ganks can really turn games quickly. So right now they see Volibear bottom. No use in putting down a ward right here. So right now she should be a little bit stronger than Aurelia. I should probably look to put down a little bit more pressure on her. And pretty much try to out-sustain her. He still has a few potions left. 4 potions to be exact, so... And Aurelia only has that flask, not giving her too much health when used. So applying a little bit more pressure here would have been good. And trying to deny Aurelia farming under turret. Oh, seems like bot lane is crushing this game, and mid lane seems to be doing great as well. So farm-wise, top lane is 58 to 77. So I believe he could have farmed a little bit better. Even though you want to go for the harass, you still have to think a lot about the minions. You don't want to lose minions in exchange for some harass on your opponent. Sometimes it might be good if you're trying to get him low enough to go for a kill, but you don't want to get too much tunnel vision in to go for kills or harass. You still have to keep an eye open for those minions. Try to get as many as possible. Yeah, you can see the danger of Aurelia right here. When she gets on top of you and gets to auto attack, and gets off 2 or 3 auto attacks, she's gonna do a lot of damage to you. So he'll have to be really careful and try to harass him whenever her Q is down or whenever her mana is low. Right now, it's just full mana though, and Elise doesn't have any mana, so she should be really careful. You don't want to stay in lane really for too long with that little mana. And the reason to why she died there, she still had a lot of potions on her. She had, I'm not sure how many potions. She still had 3 potions, but she was still sitting on around half health without using potions. So against a champion with such strong engage as Aurelia has, you don't want to be sitting in lane with less than 50% HP and no mana. So make sure you're playing really safe if you're in lane with that kind of mana. I need to open some notes here, take some notes. So Aurelia has 1 kill now. She's up with around 30 minions, so the minion lead here is pretty huge. So she won't really be able to one-on-one Aurelia at this point. She's gonna be a lot stronger than her. So he'll have to play pretty passively and try to capitalize on mistakes or getting a ganks or something like that.
Unstoppable.
Aurelia's bot now though, so he should really be trying to shove the lane here. His team seems to be doing a lot of work though. So he should be getting this top turret as well. And his team should be getting Drake as well. He doesn't necessarily have to move down for it, since they're already... the other team already has 4 people dead, so it's pretty obvious that they will get a free Drake. Can you move this chat, by the way? Oh yeah, you can. Cool. So yeah, he got the turret, giving his team a lot more gold. And he should probably be trying to push this out and go and then go back to buy something. He's only sitting on 700 gold though, so he might be willing to stay for a little bit longer. However, he doesn't have a ward at this point, so he will have to be really careful about overextending. She's trying to go for some counter jungling here. She didn't manage to get the creeps, but she's still putting out a lot of pressure here, forcing Irelia to go back, which is nicely done. Wow, Cork is so much damage. Elise doesn't have too much damage. She's only sitting on that magic pen, which is pretty much doing everything for her right now. His team only has Sejuani as a tank though, so he'll have to build a little bit more tanky this game, as they only have one real tank, and having one tank isn't necessarily enough for your team. What you most likely want to do in this current meta that we have is to have two tanks diving onto the enemy team's AD carry. If you don't play like a poke, some kind of poke setup or something close to that. However, the most general thing to do is to play two kind of aggressive bruisers and having them. Oh, I'm gonna have to replay that. It's a little bit out of it right there, so we'll have to see what's going on. So he got a nice cocoon. However, Irelia and Vayne is going all in on him right here. Should be staying a little bit more back, not really going in head on before getting tanky items. So right now he's really weak. He doesn't have too many defensive stats. What she said? Can't watch this. Oh, that's sad, man. I'll try to email Twitch later on, try to get them to give me different resolutions, but I don't know. Maybe if you guys could send messages as well, because I don't think they'll just give it to me or whatever. Maybe if people request it, I don't know. But we'll talk about that later. Right there, she got a little bit caught by the Leona ulti and Irelia and Vayne just rushing her. So she might want to just stay back a little bit more in team fights. Don't go in too much head on. Try to land a cocoon and follow up with your QQ combo. And try to do some burst damage to one champion. And try to not go all in like that. Oh, the Vayne mechanics. Nope, the Corky mechanics. So right now he's pushing up top. He has that ward now. I'm gonna provide him with a little bit more vision. He'll have to be careful though, because Volibear is really strong. Even though he's only level 9, he's gonna be really strong against Elise with no armor. I have a question regarding building. Sure, go ahead, man. So right now the blue team doesn't have any wards on the map. There are only red wards on the map. They have one ward right here that doesn't give them too much vision. Like, even though you're ahead, you obviously want to use wards, and you don't want to sit on them for too long. Alright, so here we can see Elise used her ward. She put it up here though, so it's not really gonna help her. Like, imagine a situation where she's pushing the lane here, and the jungler is coming up this way that Irelia is running here. He's not gonna be able to answer to that. He's not gonna be able to run from that in any way. Nice escape there on the onto the golems, but warding this spot if you're going this deep, it's not really gonna help you too much. You'd rather ward here or somewhere. Someone probably want to ward here actually, to be able to see if someone comes up here, if someone walks past here as well, to try to sneak up on you back here. But warding back here when you're pushing this deep, it's not gonna help you anything. This ward is pretty much wasted here. Nice dives. So right now he's sitting on Leander's Torment. He should probably be looking to go a little bit more defensive now after getting that item for damage. Well, not really a question, but I just want to make sure is Magic Pen when you don't scale that well with AP, so you're focused on lowering the resistance on opponent. Yeah, some champions don't scale too well with AP. Usually go for that Magic Pen to make their spells do almost true damage.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
So right now they're 4 versus 4 boss lane, 4 versus 3 now. They should really be trying to engage, but they really need to kite though. Whenever they land a hook or a cocoon, they should try to just burst that target. They're running pretty much a poke, kind of a poke team here. They have some hard engage in form of Sejuani and Thresh, but Sejuani isn't here at the moment, so not gonna be able to take advantage of that.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So they're pushing up nicely. Not too much to comment on right now. So yeah, she picked up the giant spell. We'll see what she's gonna decide to do with it. Probably gonna pick up a Sunfire Cape with it, or maybe a Warmogs. The enemy team though has 380 champions, so I believe Sunfire Cape would be a really good choice, item choice here. Nice chase, getting Volibear here. So once again, they killed 2 people, got 1 low. So they should really be trying to group up here and take some turrets. Like even though you're super far ahead, you don't want to invite the enemy team to come back into the game. So when you are far ahead, simply try to end the game as fast as possible. Take as many objectives as you can, and don't bother with farming wolves and stuff too much. Like if you're this far ahead and you kill 2 people, you don't want to go farm wolves or farm raves or whatever. You want to try to get objectives, because objectives is what matters in this game. It doesn't matter how many wolves you farm or how many raves you farm. The more turrets you can get, the better it is. You deny the other team a lot of map vision and a lot of map pressure, and the game is just gonna play out a lot easier for you if you take more objectives rather than farming the jungle. Well, we're getting caught again. This game was sad, lol. Yeah, it seems pretty much like a stomp. Yeah, that was a spoiler, man. Spoiler alert. Don't check the chat. Oh well. Simply one member of the red team getting caught after another by the grabs and the cocoons.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Yep, that was the first game. GG, well played, and I'm gonna follow up with some kind of recollection of the game and try to sum it up with a few key points or whatever. So yeah, The first thing I was about to say is to try to harass a lot early game. Aurelia is not gonna be too strong the first few levels. Try to harass as much as possible. Don't try to be don't try to not get engaged on though, because you don't want to be fighting 1 versus 1 against an Aurelia with auto hits and stuff. If she gets on top of you and gets to auto attack a few times, she's gonna be super strong and she's gonna be out damaging you for sure. Try to harass every time she goes for a minion kill. That way she won't be able to go for you. She will be trying to focus on a minion instead, and you'll be able to get some free harass. Landing an auto hit plus Q or something is gonna do a lot of harm onto her. Yeah, you basically want to poke Aurelia down pre-5. Yeah, indeed. But as the lane progresses, you're gonna be getting weaker and weaker compared to Aurelia, because she's gonna be able to engage on top of you and do a lot of damage. So you really need to avoid that from happening. Like, you really need to try to land a cocoon or something, land a few 1 or 2 auto hits, and land a Q spell, Q combo or something, and try to damage that way. You don't want to all in an auto attack war or something, because that way you're just gonna lose. And something else I was thinking about was that you don't was at a point in the game you were staying in the lane with, I think, around 50% HP, and you still had potions, health potions on you, but they were not ticking on you at the time. So try to use potions when you're that low on HP. Don't forget that you have the potions in the bag, and try to use them whenever you go low, obviously. And at that point of time, I really kind of all in on you, since you had no mana and you were on 50% HP and you couldn't even do anything about it. So you don't want to stay in lane with 50% HP, not using your potions, and without having any mana. Like, when you don't have mana, you're gonna be so what do you say? Like, it's gonna be so easily to gank you or to capitalize on your mistakes. Like, the second you overextend, your opponent is gonna just rush on top of you, and you're not gonna be able to do anything because you don't have any mana. So be careful when you don't have any mana in lane, and try to use your potions whenever you go low. And don't forget you have them there, because you have them for a reason, you know. Um, Also, something about wards. I think it was once or twice. I think you got caught once because you didn't place the ward early enough. Sat on a ward in the bag, and you didn't really place it out during a few minutes when you didn't know where Baldur was. If you don't know where the other where the enemy jungler is, you don't really want to go overextending to the lane without any kind of wards. If you see the enemy jungler at some other spot on the map, like bot lane, say bot lane or mid lane, you're gonna know where he is, so you don't want to be wasting your ward time then. However, if you don't see them, you're gonna have to play super defensive during that time, because you don't want to overextend when you don't know where the jungler is. And try to ward as fast as possible. You don't want to sit on a ward and get ganked when you could have had that vision anyways. And the next key point was about a little bit about team fights. There was a moment where you got caught by, I think, Leona ulti, and Irelia and Vayne just rushed on you and kind of surged you down. And you should probably try to stay a little bit more back during fights. You should be trying to catch someone with your cocoon, with your E-spell, and then landing a burst combo on top of them. At least until you get those tanky items, like until you get that Sunfire and until you get those the health and armor and stuff. Until you get tanky, try to stay back and try to land a cocoon to follow up with your burst combo on top of the guy you catch. And other than that, I didn't find too much this game. If anyone in chat so something that I missed, feel free to add in. Uh, but if not, feel free to queue up for another game, by the way, and we'll do the same thing again. That's what I'm. That's what I'm pretty horrible at. As you can see, I was harassing and falling behind on CS. I had to pretty much find the balance between harass and CSing. Yeah, that's true. You go for harass whenever your opponent is trying to farm.